Guys, boys, it's Rostermania time, baby. And man, do we got a lot to talk about, man. Obviously, you can tell from the title, we're talking about OpTic potentially signing already 3 players that they supposedly or said they already have signed. Crim in Vision, that was just dropped tonight. I'm recording this on Thursday night, but this is coming out on Friday. Crim was talking about 5v5. There's a lot to talk about in this video, guys. He said he doesn't want hardpoint in Black Ops 4. He wants control, which would be pretty crazy. Just Rostermania news in general, where I haven't talked about like the very likely rumors as much about Dashy and TJ joining OpTic. So that's what we're talking about today. September 19th is the day that we are going to know whether or not Call of Duty is 5v5. That's when the MLG does their announcement for competitive rule set and everything else, which should include basically the whole breakdown of maps and everything, hopefully at least, and potentially the schedule for the season, at least the first half of the season. So a lot going down in this announcement that's going to happen next week. The biggest question everybody has is whether or not COD's going to be 5v5. And of course, who the rosters are going to be. But I think the first domino that has to fall is this announcement with 5v5 or 4v4. Apparently, not even the orgs know whether or not it's going to be 5v5 or 4v4. And like, yes, I do work for MLG, and a few people have said that in the comments, like, do I know because I work with MLG? I mean, I'm just a referee. So, I mean, I only work for events. I don't, even though I know the people who make these decisions, I don't know at all. I have absolutely no idea whether or not it's going to be 4v4 or 5v5. You know, PewDiePie might say you're not supposed to give your opinion on a news show, but I ain't PewDiePie, so I'm going to give my opinion. I think 5v5 or 4v4 completely depends on the maps, but it's pretty crazy if they would announce 5v5 without letting any pros test the 5v5 versus 4v4 method. If that's going to happen, then I think franchising's in Call of Duty's future. I think there's a lot of big changes happening in Call of Duty's future, but right now at this point, it's so hard to say. With the information, I think it's leaning 5v5. So OpTic's parent company CEO or vice president, I think, Jacob Toft Anderson said, this was his quote: "As for Call of Duty, we are waiting for the announcement on September 19th, but I can confirm that we have finalized as much as 3 transfers. But other than that, you will have to wait until we know what the format of the season is." But what he said is, as for Call of Duty, I can confirm that we have finalized as much as 3 transfers, which is really interesting. So that there's a few different interpretations of this. Transfers as in dropping somebody and then adding 2. Is that 3 transfers? Or is 3 transfers literally 3 new people coming from another team? So, you know, 3 brand new people. Is it TJ, Dashy, and then a 3rd coming onto the Call of Duty team if it's 5v5? So that is really interesting that, I mean, organizations are at the least preparing for 5v5. If not, they already might kind of have an idea that it's going to be 5v5. Who knows? But the other news is that there's a Call of Duty Black Ops 4 tournament in Germany on September 28th, hosted by PlayStation in partnership with Call of Duty. This place has been sponsored with CWL Ruleset's competitive rule sets. The tournament is going to be played as a 5v5 tournament in Germany. It's really weird that this would be a 5v5 tournament literally like, what, 9 days after the announcement that there's going to be a 5v5 tournament. Really weird. Right now, I think I'm leaning towards that is going to be 5v5, which is, I would have never thought that's what I'd be thinking at this point in the year. I thought for sure by now they would have said something about 4v4. And in Vision, Heck said it's really weird that they haven't announced it yet, and it makes me think that it's going to be 5v5, because if everything would have just been the same, or if they were just planning on it being the same, they would have helped calm down some people by saying it'd be 4v4. I don't know. See, that's just a theory from Hex. It's a fairly valid point. It really is. With all that said about the format and 5v5 and everything, we're going to have to wait till September 19th to truly know. Once that news breaks, Rostermania could be absolute mayhem. Like, if it's 5v5, there is going to be chaos across the league. Teams are going to be flipping out, trying to find a 5th. And like what Crim said in Vision, that a lot of the smaller orgs are going to be in a lot of trouble, and there's going to be some players who are going to be really screwed because they're in long-term contracts with those orgs, and nobody's going to want to buy them out of those contracts. That's going to be a huge problem for some players. And like, say for example, Hook. I don't know if Hook has a long-term contract, but he's been a franchise player, in Crim's words, for Envy. So in this case, if Hook has this big old contract with Envy that nobody really wants to buy out, and say Envy just really can't lock down good players, which, I mean, I don't know if that's the case or not, obviously, this is just an example, then like Hook would be in trouble. So if that happens with other orgs, there's going to be some players that could potentially be left behind with not so good rosters, which would really suck for this season. I just think there's a lot of problems with switching to 5v5, and I mean, again, it's so hard to say. It all comes down to maps for me. If the maps are made well for 5v5, we only got to see a few of the maps, and I didn't think that a lot of them were that great for 5v5. But what Crim said again was that he thinks hardpoint doesn't play well at 5v5, but search and destroy does, and maybe like a CTF or something else would. And he said that he would want control instead of hardpoint, which I loved control. So I mean, personally, I'm not supposed to share my opinion on this show, but but I would say that control to me was insanely fun, and I would be okay with it being a competitive game mode instead of hardpoint. I know that might piss off a lot of people who say,
oh, hardpoint's been so good since Black Ops 2.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get it, okay. But like at the end of the day, it's replaceable, and it'd be kind of fun to see something different. I know Ghost did domination, which just wasn't very exciting and not that fun to watch. But that's not the right way to do it. If we could do something like control that adds suspense and adds excitement into it, I would be totally down for that. And again, I got totally off topic here, but Rostermania, again, right when this news breaks, all the rumors are going to start flying. And I believe the rumors that this OpTic roster right now is for sure TJ, Haley, and Dashy. I don't know who that fifth person is that apparently they were talking about with the fifth transfer or whatever. I have no idea. In my mind, that's just dropping methods is like a transfer. I don't think Dashy and TJ Haley are going to be two guys who signed with OpTic. It seems all the arrows are pointing that direction, but it's so hard to tell right now. So guys, you know, besides the OpTic rumors, there really hasn't been too much other news to go off of. As more news goes, I'll be here to let you guys know. I really do appreciate if you guys haven't had a chance to go watch the Blackout video I just posted yesterday. It was a lot of fun. My first few wins, my first experience on it. I know you guys have probably watched a lot of those already, but I would really, really appreciate it if you guys check that one out. Left a comment down below. That'd be awesome. We're about to hit 5,000 subscribers, which is really great. It's crazy that we've come so far already, and we have a long ways to go. I really hope to do this long term, and you guys are all part of that, and I really, really appreciate you guys. But as always, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Share the video if you guys really enjoy it. I really, really do appreciate it. But as always, guys, I'm your boy, SalvationsElite, and we will see you next time. I'm out. Boom, baby. Kill number uno of my career.